And a big part of this event is me introducing myself as an author. I don't have a million followers anywhere. I think the sum total of my social media presence is less than, way less than 1,000. So that makes me a talented, gifted, anointed nobody. And that's cool, because as a talented nobody, it's my responsibility to come to you, to come to the people. People can't come to me because they don't know where I am. Cool. So just in case anybody's curious, Chantal Latreviette is my full given name. And it is absolutely the reason why I took French in school while everybody else was everybody and their mama was saying, take Spanish, take Spanish. I was the only lone person who wanted to take French because of my name.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Chantal was given to me by my younger aunt who watched a Sandra Dee movie.
How you doing?
Entitled If a Man Answers. It's a cute movie. Sandra Dee's character was named Chantal, and my aunt decided that her niece, yet unborn, would be named Chantal. I find it interesting that my mother had zero input in the naming of either of her daughters. She did not. She let my aunt and my grandmother name the both of us. She had, the detachment was there already. But Latreviette is a mouthful of a middle name that has been swimming down in Kinston, North Carolina for decades, and nobody could ever tell me where it came from. I'm just grateful that it fits with Chantal. But I have a younger cousin, about 20 years younger than me, who has her mother gave her the middle name Latreviette, and she did not know that was my middle name.
Oh,
So somewhere down south, this name is swimming around, and they're giving it to their children, but nobody can tell me where it comes from. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just glad it fits well on the book. Chantal Latreviette.
Okay. Yes.
So I won't talk about my government last name because it doesn't really mean anything genetically to me. It was my mother's married name. So me, my sister, and my mom had the same last name, but we really weren't tied to the person who gave it to my mom. There's that. Now, when people see my book, they ask what are your qualifications for.
No, they hadn't got started yet.
They want to know what your qualifications are to talk about mothers and daughters and children and relationships and the psyche that goes on. So let me go through my qualifications. My only formal degree, as you have read, is writing what I know, a BA in English. I have no doctorate degree yet. I have no master's degree yet, but I do see an MFA in my future, God willing. I haven't birthed any children of my own, however, unclench, because people always clench up when you say that. I had a younger sister, 7.5 years younger than me. She will have been with the Lord for 15 years come December, and she was absolutely my baby.
All right.
I raised her.
You said it's been 15 years?
It will be 15 years in December that she died. Yes. I've been a full-time live-in nanny for 3 baby cousins before I turned 18. I was teaching children and adults, by the way, for 39 years and counting. Deliberately avoided teaching in the public school system because God does not want me in jail. So for 48 years, this is the big one, for 48 years, I was the daughter of an overtly toxic mother. And I survived. That is what qualifies me to write this story. Now, I'm not here to tell my whole life story. I don't think none of us can handle that, including me. What I want to focus on is the journey through. Not knowing where you belong, yet you're discovering a place where you feel like you fit in, if only for a season. It's that kind of feeling that I like to focus on. Like, oh, I'm lost, looking for a spot to go. Oh, this looks like the place. And you're getting the acceptance that you've longed for. Hard Pressed is a contemporary black women's fiction, which we can all use right now.
There you go. Because he kept asking me what was I was like, the genre.
The genre.
Yes.
I basically had to...
So what's the contemporary fiction version?
Okay.
I had to make it up myself because women's fiction takes you to white women's fiction, which is usually period pieces. And Black women's fiction also takes you to things that are set,
No.
Oh.
set back in like the 50s and the 60s.
Oh, close enough.
So that's why I say contemporary. That's the genre I'm sticking with. I wrote this to remind my sisters that we weren't always looked upon with disrespect. Because we're forever perceived as loud and angry. We're over-sexualized when we're young and disregarded as sanctimonious church ladies when we get older. We've been prostituted on these so-called reality shows. It's a formula now, if you haven't noticed. You get 6 black women together in a room with a camera, make up ridiculous situations just to get them scrapping like alley cats. Now, who profits the most from those stories? Not the women. It's the producers. Once upon a time, we were raised to be queens. We are carriers of the genes that every civilization comes from. We're the mother of all living. We are literally the blueprint. We carry the gene that feeds every other race. That's why they call it the Eve gene. And we need to reconnect with that. This book is also my testimony, wrapped up in enough fiction to keep me from crying. Emotional abuse is real. It's a generational curse, and it is debilitating.
Yeah.
Hearing words that have been said to you in anger, hate, envy, or worst of all, indifference, breaks you down.
Yes.
And it can keep you broken if you let it. Hard Pressed is also my tribute to the Agoji, according to the trailers, the real life Amazons of Dahomey, whose story is not being written or told by anybody black. The Woman King, even though we had the Woman King, which was acted out by Viola Davis, the research was done by a white woman. Black Panther, they gave us the Dora Milaje. Stan Lee is the one who found that. Our story has been buried and hidden away from us. I had to be in college looking up Amazons, the Greek Amazons, to find out that there were also Amazons in Africa. They weren't called Amazons, they were called the Agoji. The Agoji weren't just the king's personal guard. The word Agoji actually means the king's wives. They were his wives. That's why they didn't marry or have children with other men. They don't mention that part of the Woman King. They were considered royal. That's where I get warrior queen from. Other men weren't even allowed to look at them when they passed through the village. We didn't accept second place or low status then, because once upon a time we did not have to. I watched a lot of TV as a child of the 70s and 80s, Gen X. I've always been fascinated by matriarchal societies and female-led dynamics. 2 out of the 3 parts of my independent study are on my YouTube page, and it's in a lot more detail than I can do right now. But it started with Wonder Woman when I was 6. And specifically the Paradise Island episode, because I thought really even at 6, the whole part of Wonder Woman, I'm like, okay, why is she fighting crime in a strapless bathing suit? It didn't make sense to me at 6. But what I did hone into were the Paradise Island episodes. Because where I was emotionally at that time, being bullied by the little boys and told strictly to keep away from men, my idea of the perfect place, my happy place, the place I did all my daydreaming, was all female. I also honed into a 1984 TV movie called Amazons. And that's because of the plot only. The plot was a secret society of the descendants of Greek Amazons they were hashing a secret plot to take over America. Now I'm thinking, that's a good plot. They just did it very stupidly, and most likely because it was written by a man, and also directed by a man. Remember Starsky of Starsky and Hutch?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
He's the one who directed and produced this. And that movie resonated with me so much that I wanted to write my own sequel to it. But then God said, don't try to rewrite somebody else's work. Write your own story.
I know that's right.
So my work always starts with questions that I require myself to answer. What if the Agoji existed as a secret society in present-day America?
Yeah.
What would those women look like right here in American society? Even with everything that's going on, how would those women navigate? Second question, how does a daughter heal when her mother fails to teach her how to love herself? Any other firstborns here besides me?
Good night.
No.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, have a good no.
They tell the firstborns that we are the openers of the womb, the creator of, we the ones who created the mother. Which are all flowery ways of saying we're the practice child. All the trial and error, the experimentation, all the book theories, the old wives' tales, and now social media kicking in their opinions. All of that gets tested out on us. And if mommy doesn't get it right, we're the ones on the short end. Mommy gets to say, I did the best I could with what I had, true or not. And society just gives mom a pass. Now, that's not even the part that I was mad at, because there is no manual on motherhood. They don't pass out directions on it. So yeah, you're flying by the seat of your pants. And they keep trying to write them, but you have to take them with a grain of salt, maybe a twist of lime. What I believe is supposed to happen in this process, in this dynamic, is that the mother, out of the purest intentions and love for this tiny human being, wants to do right by their child. They want to do right by their daughter. They want to impart the best into this tiny, fresh vessel that only wants to be loved back. That's all a baby asks.
I know
to
that's
love
right.
them
That's all
back.
anybody.
So how do we get from woman to warrior? First, get from broken to healed.
Come on.
That is a process. It's not a 1-2 snap. Because between broken and healed is healing. Second, don't be mad at your scars. Learn from them. Every warrior has scars.
Yes.
Basic training, any military folk? Basic training requires that you have scars. If you don't have them coming in, you're definitely going to have them coming out.
Yeah.
Warriors are built from the scars that have been inflicted, but then again, so are victims. The difference between the two is choice.
Yes.
Which one are you going to choose to be? Now, I learned from my scars with my mother. One of the biggest lessons I learned was that children have very real feelings that are often dismissed.
You better believe it.
And they remember way more than adults give them credit for.
They sure do.
Just because they don't talk about it doesn't mean they're not holding it in a place in their spirits.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not allowed to process their emotions. And I was a child who was not allowed to process my emotions. You might remember me being really tight inside. That came from a place of not being able to express. I kept them pressed down for decades because I was never taught, not even about expression, but just what to do with them. Even now, I'm asking, what am I supposed to do with what I'm feeling right now? And there are times Janice has to like stand in front of me because she knows I'm about to blow. But I'm like, so what else am I supposed to be feeling? What else am I supposed to be doing? Because I really never learned it. I had to deal with words. Say, dry it up. I ain't got time to hear that. Oh, you got a problem with what I said? I don't care. I hurt your feelings. You ain't got no such and such feelings. Fix your face.
Hey, that's me.
My mother's personal favorite. My mother's version of that was unbuckle your lips because I'd be sitting there just tight
fix
while
your
she's
face.
going on and
Fix your
on
face,
for
yeah.
20 minutes.
That is me.
And God forbid that I look like I'm getting mad. You're not allowed to look mad. But that's what I had to deal with.
Yeah.
Third, actively break the generational curse. Be
Yes.
intentional about it. If you're content with inflicting the same abusive treatment that broke you into pieces
Come
because,
on.
I turned out fine, then guess
Did
what?
I really
You didn't turn out fine.
That's what I'm about to say. That's just what I said.
If you think
Amen.
it's okay to pass that along
Mhm.
when you didn't like it, but you're okay with passing it to the next generation. It's easier to stay a victim of your circumstance than it is to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Ask me how I know. It's way easier to say, well, this is just how I grew up. This is just what I had to deal with. I had a friend who she suffered from PTSD, and she literally wore it like a badge. It became her excuse for everything I have PTSD. So I'm going to, I'm such and such and such. I'm going to act like that. Well, I have PTSD. Like, yeah, but you're not supposed to be reveling in. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. You're not supposed to be reveling in your disorder, and too many of us just revel in the disorder.
Come on.
The shared trauma thing really gets to me. I'm online a lot, and I look online to see what people are sharing traumas about how they grew up under the emotional or physical abuse. And just because we all shared that trauma doesn't mean that it was a good thing. Doesn't mean that it was something that we want to pass down. And you have to be intentional about it. Like I grew up one way, but I'm not going to pass that to the next generation. Be a non-toxic, emotionally supportive mother.
Is there such a thing?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Be a resilient, healing, renewed daughter.
Come on.
And by every means necessary,
Yes.
be a warrior queen.